What's happening, party people? Thanks for coming back and checking out this video. This is going to be, of course, the Friday's edition week in review. Give you the opportunity to watch the last several days that I've been tinkering around. I'm try to clean these up. A lot of people were disgusted with the last version, just cutting in random clips, just kind of giving people an overview of what has happened throughout the week and of things I posted over on Patreon. However, this past week I've been so busy, I hadn't really posted anything over on Patreon, maybe one video or two. I'm still doing the shorts daily, so if you don't watch shorts, you may want to try to check some of those out. And then the algorithm will maybe start feeding you those shorts. Other than that, I just been busy. I went up to Chicago and started a manual swap because I had a couple days where I didn't have anything to do here, but it wasn't enough time to go out west and take care of the things I need to in Springfield, Missouri and Lincoln, Nebraska. So I just went to Chicago and tried to knock out a couple jobs there, a few days. And now I came home, take care of some medical stuff, and I'm going back out to Chicago. Finish up what I got going on there a couple days. Then I was going to Springfield and Lincoln, Nebraska, but something else happened. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but somebody had one of our vehicles. Yeah, I did mention it. And they were in somebody's blind spot from what the police report looks like. Man, I don't know why people don't understand that there's a blind spot that people have. And it's hard not to be in somebody's blind spot in town, in the city, but that's where they were. And this person decided to make a left turn from the third lane, hit the car. Unfortunately, it's a T5R. It wasn't my choice to, well, I made the final decision, but I wasn't real thrilled about that person driving a T5R, but it happens. And man, the car had not gone into any major restoration process with me. So I figured we'd take the chance. I thought it would be a couple of weeks. At the end of the day, they had the vehicle almost a year. A few of you know that I have a couple vehicles that's been parked because I hadn't taken the time to fix my stuff, running around trying to take care of everybody else's stuff, which is okay. It's a decision I made. And I don't usually get paid immediately for taking care of my stuff. Most of you guys that I help out there are able to pay to take care of your stuff, which is good. So that's what I've been doing. Lately, I've been taking care of some of my stuff, not all of it. I can't afford to just quit working and helping other people to take care of my stuff. It would come to a screeching halt real fast, my ability to take care of my obligations. And that's just not how the world works. So I got to take care of my stuff in between taking care of other people's stuff, keep my part of the world going around. We are moving forward on some of the t-shirt designs and stickers. The stickers have been ordered. They should be in soon. If you're a supporter, we have stickers for supporters. If you're just somebody that watches and follows, we got stickers for followers. And we'll have that stuff on the website soon. We also are moving forward on the t-shirt designs. I have probably about 15% of the funds I wanted to get that t-shirt printer, and I was just about ready to pull the trigger on borrowing money to get that machine. And I just decided, man, I've never borrowed money for things that I didn't absolutely need. I'm not a person that believes in debt. So I put that order on hold until I save up the rest of the money one way or another to get that t-shirt machine ordered. Now, if there's somebody that wants their money back, I'm able and willing to do that. But I'm saving towards getting that machine cashed out. That's the only way that I think we should purchase things that we don't absolutely need. Buying things that we don't need for our pleasure, enjoyment on credit I don't think it's a smart thing to do. So I'm not going to do it Right now, I've saved up about 15% of the purchase cost of it. I'm getting ready to put one of my cars in the final stages of restoration, so I'll be able to sell that. I'll get money from that to put toward it. I also am probably going to get some money from the insurance claim on this car that got totaled. So I'll put some of that money toward that. And I'll just keep going. And hopefully within 5 or 6 months, I'll have the rest of the money together, order that thing, and have a blast. Now, we have decided to go through with the design productions on the different t-shirts. So I have a design that I call a tow is cheaper than an engine. Man, people have things go wrong with their car and they try to make it home. And a good engine replacement, I recently learned, is probably anywhere from $2,500 to $4,500 on a used car. A dirty engine replacement, just getting something and throwing it in there without servicing it, is about 2 G's. Now, I have paid up to $275 for a tow. And unfortunately, I think those folks were crooks. They towed the car about 8 feet, charged me $275. Nonetheless, I don't know of anybody that's paid more than $2,000 for a tow, even across the country. I've had cars brought from Albuquerque all the way to Cincinnati, and it was only 1,200-1,300 bucks. So no matter how you slice it, a tow is going to be cheaper than an engine. So if something's going wrong with your car, pull it over, shut it down, and call a tow truck. So we designed this, or I designed a t-shirt, or Elizabeth helped me design a t-shirt to project that message and remind people. So many people nowadays neglect the maintenance and repairs of their cars that they're breaking down, probably record numbers. And putting even a used engine in your car is risky because so many people don't change their oil and stuff like that. So anyway, we got that t-shirt coming out. Like I said, we got the sticker designs. We had a couple more things we're working on. Some things for kids even. So, we'll have some fun with that. And, when I get the better machine to make those easier, maybe we could make them a little cheaper or even help other people with designs and business apparel that they have and offset some of the cost of functioning that machine and running it. Family reunions, business logos and stuff like that. And we'll be able to do it on a better scale or a bigger scale and be able to turn that stuff out. And I'll have it for the people that order t-shirts and stuff for me. People order birthday presents, kids, Christmas gifts, and different stuff like that from my website, merch stuff. I still have a few of these coffee cups left. I've visited a few of my viewers and supporters, and man, they have those coffee cups in their homes. And they say, "Hey, Robert, drink out of your cup." So that's just fun stuff to help support the cause. If it was up to me, if one of you guys hit the lottery, send me a few $1,000,000, man, I won't even have to charge people that are struggling with life for the things that they have me do on their vehicles. But until that happens, somebody's got to offset the cost because it costs money to drive places, it costs money to buy tools, it costs money to buy parts, it costs money to stay in hotels, it costs money to eat. All this stuff is expensive when you're at home. And you take that circus on the road, man, those costs have climbed through the roof. So they are what they are. And even with that, I'm able, or have been able, to keep the costs really reasonable. At the end of the day, on average, I'm probably half of dealer costs, sometimes less, never much more than half a dealer cost. Now, if you hire me to travel from Cincinnati, Ohio to Las Vegas, Nevada to do an oil change, that's going to cost more than the dealer's cost. But if you hire me to go there and do a timing belt, some CV axles, wheel hub, and a brake job, I'm going to beat the dealer cost every time. It's no question. And sad to say that a lot of independent shops are very close to dealer costs now. Good independent shop that knows what they're doing, knows how to fix your car, are probably going to be 80 cents on the dollar as dealer cost. And some of your specialty shops may be the same or even more than dealer cost. I've heard of people that were specialty mechanics. The dealers would send stuff to them because they didn't have the time or the ability to troubleshoot the issues that these cars were having. And back 10 years ago, I had a guy that I talked to and communicated with, one of my followers. Man, he was charging 235, 275 an hour 10, 15 years ago. So for somebody to have that kind of skill set that they can fix the cars even the dealers can't fix, man, they're expensive. So it's not real cheap even getting your car repaired at an independent shop. The cheapest way to get your car fixed is if you do it yourself. And that's how I became somewhat popular. I don't think I'm all that big a deal, but me posting videos that people can actually use to fix things on their car have saved people millions of dollars. And so anyway, I appreciate you all support. In most cases, somebody's got to die on this planet for people to support them and help them out. And I have some people that, man, they help me out anytime and every time. You know, I run into people, single moms, people that have unfortunate circumstance happen in their life, and they see me and they know that I'm a generous person. And man, I wish I could take care of that stuff myself, but I just can't. I let my viewers know, and man, a lot of times, my viewers and supporters like you chip in and help those causes out. We've helped people with dental stuff. We've helped people with utility stuff. We've helped people definitely with transportation stuff. And it's part of what makes this world go around. You know, that's part of the reason why we're here, to help each other. And I appreciate those of you that do that kind of thing. I was with a guy in Chicago a couple of days ago, and he just asked about one of my supporters, and he just expressed his appreciation for how my supporters helped him out in a time of need. Yeah, he was having a tough time in life, and I mentioned it to my viewers, and several of my viewers stepped in, and you know, the one supporter friend I have, he stepped in a big way for the guy, and the guy just still remembers and appreciates that today. And it's not real common for people to help each other without getting something back in return, but it's a relief to some people that work hard every day, worked hard all their life, and just they're in a tough spot, and people like you and I go and help them along the way. So that's what it's all about. That's kind of why I even started this channel, was to find a way to help other people and to give it. Man, if it was about the money, shoosh, ship your car here. I ain't doing nothing until I get a shop. And yeah, we're charging dealer cost here because the dealers ain't working on most of the cars that I'm working on. So, but you know, that's not my slant on life and how to get involved with helping people make it through life. So that's why I do what I do. Anyway, here's some video clips. Hope you guys enjoy them. What has happened in the next 7 days. One of the things that kind of stood out to me was I thought I could actually put an engine in somebody's car for less than $1,500. And man, that's just not practical. The engine was less than $500, and still servicing that engine, what I consider properly, and putting that in that old car that people had hacked up 50 different things under the hood that I had to replace and correct. It just, man, it ran up close to more than $2,000. If I'd have charged the guy what I actually did on that car at my rates, at my house. No overhead involved. Man, it was $2,500. So it's tough, making some of this stuff work right. And especially on these older cars where people been hacking things up. And somebody's got to go in there and do something. If they don't fix this other stuff, they could become blamed for the issues that follow. So I didn't want that to happen. I like making people's stuff right. So I did what I did. And man, the hard cost was nearly $1,500 with a cheap engine. And then all the time that I spent in there, it's just incredible. So let me get going. I got a lot of stuff to do today. Got to get back to Chicago, finish this manual swap. Man, there's a lot of people still doing manual swaps. One of the, I think, funnest thing you could do to your car. In this case, they had an automatic transmission going out. For a few more dollars, probably $1,000 more, they can manual swap it and maybe never have another transmission issue. And it's surely better than risking putting a old automatic transmission in there. And I have a few swap kits left. I'm having a real hard time finding parts to do these manual swaps anymore. I have 3 more kits that I need to deliver, one for myself, and I may have the parts to do 1 or 2 more. So hey, if you are thinking about doing a manual swap and you don't have the parts you need, some of this stuff is no longer available new, you might want to find a kit and throw it in your garage for future use, or find a car that somebody's getting ready to junk that has one, and make sure you strip those parts out before you send it off, because that stuff is drying up fast. I've heard people say that stuff is as rare as hen's teeth, and I've never seen a hen with teeth, so that's pretty rare. And man, like I said, I might have 2 kits left. Somebody put a deposit on one not too long ago, so that there you have it. If there's something you want to do in the future, you need to get on that. Get your parts, restore them. We can't even get the R clutches we used to use from the 850Rs, and it doesn't look like anything's going to happen about that anytime soon. I've contacted manufacturers of clutches to ask them to help us out, and they're not even responding because they never heard of people doing this to 850s, and they just don't think it's worth their investment. Manufacturer will put thousands of dollars into manufacturing a part that they sell for $300, $400, $500. And if they don't have a commitment to sell 1,000 of those things, they'll probably lose money fooling with it. I get people complain about some of the prices of stuff that are brand new. Like, for instance, we were working with Alex to set up making these R bumpers, and to make the first one 3 years ago, the cost was going to be around $450,000 to make one. And that's a big commitment to make financially, to put something on the market that people may not consume. He's got warehouses full of parts, and occasionally I get people complain, man, I talked to Alex, he wasn't too nice, he kind of shoved me away. But I think Alex could probably do better if he had a customer relations person, because depending on what mood he's in, he can be extremely nice and friendly, and sometimes he's just like, man, I ain't doing it. Today's not the day. And he gets a little cranky. Heck, I'm getting cranky. I get people contact me over and over again about something that is none of my business. And it's like, why are you holding me hostage on the phone for 30, 40 minutes talking about how sick your dog is, and talking about a problem that I gave you the solution to 2 weeks ago, and you haven't taken 5 minutes to resolve the problem, and you've contacted me 10 times about the same problem. Come on, man. Give me a break. I got 240,000 subscribers, something like that. What if just half of those decided, hey, Robert, let me call you about my problem and talk to you about it 10 times before I do anything about it? It just won't work. It won't work. So sometimes I get a little cranky, you know. I'm getting old and a little cranky. But overall, if you can't find a solution in the videos I have or the people that are around you that you're working with, your mechanics or whatnot, man, feel free to call me. I'm here to help. No, I don't have a meter charging people for every minute they talk to me on the phone. Wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't. I don't require payment to give you solutions to your problems or things that I think would help you out. But hey, if I say try this, don't call me back until you try this. It's just a waste of time because I'm just going to keep telling you to try the same thing and you calling me up, hold my phone hostage, talking about the same thing over and over again. Just, it's not fair to me. May be reasonable to you, it's not fair to me. So I'm probably going to get cranky and say a couple things that you're not going to like, but that's just life, you know. I'm not Jesus, and man, you know, people don't even like what he has to say. So that's that. No further ado. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Welcome to Hanging Out with Robert, that's me. This video contains things that I encounter throughout the day. If for some reason I complete a task and you would like to see the details, you could click on the link in the description area below. This video also contains tips and tricks that I learned throughout the years. I plan on leaving this video accessible for about 30 days. After that, you can view it through my Patreon account. Thank you very much for watching. Man, there's a lot of P80 going on here today and one left. But I'm going to kick off the day by changing that tire on Pepper so it can have matching wheels. Let me get that going. I have a strange one. I pulled this battery out of a S70. It's dated. Less than a year old. Well, a year old now. And this thing will not take a charge. I don't know what's wrong with it, but my charger won't even acknowledge that it's hooked up to this battery. It's been hooked up for about 10 minutes. Usually I get a charging sequence here when I hit the mode button, but that ain't happening. And then I get this little red light. So I'm gonna hook this battery up to a jump box, and hopefully after sitting 5 or 10 minutes, it'll have enough juice in it for my battery charger to acknowledge it. So let's see how that works. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Want to see how this battery's doing. It is not doing well. We only got 2 lights lit. I don't think my charger's going bad because I seen it going up on the other batteries. Man, this thing, like I said, it's only about a year old. But sitting in the car for months not being used kills them. Let's test it. Well, it says it has 12.49 volts. Battery test, regular flooded, cold cranking amps. This one says 550. Testing. $75.75. It's good. We're gonna keep it on the charger. See if we can get that up to 95.95. Went and picked up some shelving for some organization. Got 4 of those things, thank God. Pepper blew the turbo tube again, so I replaced the clamp. That should be good to go. And I need to go grab that S60 and detail it. Then I'm going to detail the outside of Lemonade, and then I'm going to get on this engine replacement. It's time to get started. I'm going to detail this car, get this tree sap or whatever this is off of it, clean it, buff out this paint transfer stuff. Then I'm going to polish it, fine polish, and then I'm going to wax it. And it'll look nice. So let's get started. This is how it looks after the first pass of the polisher. It's got a A lot of deep cuts in there, which is expected. I'm gonna try to use some rubbing compound to get some more of this out, and then polish it again, and then do some detailing. Well, this is what I ended up with. Man, a near mirror finish there. You can see the birds and the trees on there. I really polished the hood. I cut it, polished it, waxed it. I just polished and waxed the roof, polished and waxed the trunk, a little bit of the upper side of the sides, and just waxed the sides. That's a deep cut from somewhere. That's way into the paint, all the way through to plastic or metal. That'll have to be touched up. A couple of these scratches will. The hood looks pretty good. You can see the trees and the clouds. This front bumper has been painted. It's got a lot of orange peel. Doesn't come as smooth and clean as the hood does. But I cut this side of the hood, polished it and waxed it. I polished and waxed this side. And that side actually looks a little smoother. Anyway, back here, we're going to find a PDR person, see what they could do about this. And some of this is a little deep, but I think I can get the rest of this out of here. Didn't have time to do it all today, and I couldn't find my rubbing compound. So I'm gonna find my rubbing compound and try to get the rest of this white stuff off of here, but some of that's all the way through. I didn't realize it, but it is. That'll probably have to be touched up. Probably not going to do that. Just try to get the dent pulled from there. Get the dent pulled from there. Maybe restore these headlights. And there's a dent there that could be pulled. And that's probably going to be about it. Unfortunately, it has a salvage title. I think more people should fight the insurance companies to not salvage their cars, but just make them give you the money, because man, the damage that was done on this, if this car was 2 years old, it'd be fixed in a day. Since it's 12 years old, they want to total it. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to Lemonade. As you see, Lemonade has a lot of grimed in dirt. This car was washed yesterday and those fingerprints and stuff did not come out. Hacked up, touch up job. Base clear. I'm gonna take the roof racks off so I can easily polish this up here. I'm gonna go ahead and polish the whole car. Actually, I'm gonna clay bar it, cut it, polish it, and wax it. So it should look better than this piece right here. We were messing around when I was in Chicago and we polished this piece. So this is polished, unpolished. Maybe you can see it a little better from this side. Anyway, let me get on this. Don't have a lot of day left. I got about 3 hours a day left. So I'll probably end up finishing this up in the morning. Let me get these roof rails off and this roof trim. I mean, a lot of dirt gets under these trim pieces. Look at that caked up dirt there. All the way down there. So I'm gonna wash this out first. I washed the car last night, so it's not that dirty. I'm not gonna wash it again, but I am gonna power wash this out. Brush it out with a brush. And then start polishing it, or clay barring it first. I got the grill out, I got the sprayers out, and I got the roof trim out. That's washed and brushed. So let me go ahead and wash these two holes and then get to work with my McGuire's clay bar. It tells you what to do. It ain't a real big deal. But hey, if you want it clean and looking like new, this is what you gotta do. Moving right along. This part's polished twice. This part's polished twice. Not finished, just polished. This part's polished once here. This part's not polished, and this is the test spot we had a few months back. So it's coming together. So you can see the clay bar side versus the polished side. And then I'm gonna finish polishing that, then I'm gonna wax half and show you the difference between polished and waxed. All right, I got the entire hood polished. I'm about to wax it. Let me get my phone on the charger so I can have some juice to do that. Left off yesterday, clay barring, cutting, and polishing lemonade. The hood came out pretty good. Got this spot here. Started doing the roof. It was coming out pretty good, but somebody painted this side of the car at one time. These two doors, I believe, are clear coated, and they clear coated up here because it's peeling. The sad part is it may have been blended once upon a time, but now it's not. This is definitely faded compared to the roof. It's faded a lot, and I can't get it darken up because it's clear coated. Anyway, I polished this with the polishing solution. I cut and polished this, and this didn't come out as good as the cut and polish, so I'm gonna cut the rest of the car and then polish it, and it'll be smoother and look better. Now I can see bugs crawling in the trees in that reflection, but I can see a few blemishes in this side, so I want to go as clean as I can, so I'm gonna hit that there. So let me go get my canopy and put it up and get back to work before it gets to be 600 degrees out here. Look at that. Just sitting out here overnight, stuff gets on the car. I don't know what tree that came out of, or something flew by and pooped on it. A fly or some other kind of weird insect. Anyway, let me get to work. I am done with the top surface. It's looking good. Now it's time to do the front, sides, and the back. So let me get cracking because a lot more to do. Going to do the side. Took off those two trim pieces. I don't like taking off that trim piece because you could break the clips, but this definitely needs to be washed. Let me clean this again because I've had these off before and they need cleaned again. Oh my gosh, it is hot. See the difference? This is clear coated. This is not. I really don't need to polish these doors that much. I'll polish them a little bit, but I need to polish this fender. So that's what I'll do. I'll cut this deep, cut these two light, cut that deep. Then I'm gonna do this bumper. And I might have Elizabeth make me some wrap for that bumper. Stop that from getting all chipped up while I drive. Time to wrap it up. I don't think I waxed these two things, although I did polish them. I got the passenger side put back together. The roof rack is in the back drying. I had one spot on there that I had to run. I haven't polished the back. I need to find my touch-up paint. So on this side, it doesn't look like I polished this, but I did. I have a scrape and scratch here I couldn't rub out, that's deep. But this side still has some swirl in it. I gotta polish that with the finishing polish. See, I got some polish on this door here I need to get off. Looking for my polishing rag. Cut and polish here. Oh man, it comes off easy when it's dry. But when it's damp dry, it doesn't. One thing I'm really disappointed about is that it seems like all four of my doors are clear coated. The back is not. I had great success with the top of the car. Original paint, no problems. Nice, deep yellow. Now here, you can see this is original paint, but this has been repainted and clear coated. A lot of the clear coat is flaking. And man, the clear coated panels are just not as yellow as the regular car is. So that kind of sucks. People always say clear coat's better than single stage, but in this case, it's not. My yellow is better in the original color. I gotta look at that for however long I'm gonna leave this car like this unless I get it repainted. But that's just not in the budget now. Some of the clear coat is popping yellow, but a lot of it's not. And not to mention all the spots that the clear coat is peeling and chipping away, which is really ugly. Look at all that clear coat coming off. So I'm not a big fan of clear coat on the yellow. Nope, not at all. Anyway, let me pack up and call it a night. Pick this up in the morning. Kicking off the Tinker Day, we got a low tire pressure warning in the S60. So let's see if there's any that are low or just the sensor system messed up. I'm going to try to work around my emblems here, detailing my car. I'm gonna go ahead and put tape all the way across the top of the bumper because I don't want to get the polishing compound on there and have a hard time getting that out. I got enough stains on that. However, I am digging the seal out of here. A lot of people leave that in there until it rusts so bad that they can't get it out. About 75% of it came out. I'm digging the rest out slowly but surely. So I'm putting a screwdriver in there, twisting it out, and I'm getting a little bit at a time. It seems like I got some gasket holding this trim in, and this is supposed to just slide out and slide in. However, this one seems to be stuck. It's got some of this, what I think is rubber gasket material holding it in. So let me finish working that out, clean that up, and get to polishing. I'm gonna have to get a brush and scrub in there and polish that out. I think the idea is for it to keep water and different stuff like that from building up there, but after 30 years, it turns into a liability over a positive thing. So let me keep going. I got it out. I got a few scratches back in there I'm gonna need to touch up, but at least I got it out and I'm gonna go from there. I don't have another one to put in there. I don't even know if they're available anymore, but at this point I'm not interested. I'm also need to treat this little spot of rust that was building up under there. Finally finished. Got all the polish done, all the buffing done, getting ready to put it back together and wrap this up so I can move on to the next job. Can't remember if I showed that I got this seal out of here, and there's a couple spots of rust. And let me tell you, rust unseen and unchecked is bad rust. Get rid of those seals. That's my take. Kicking off the Tinker Day, we're going to go see if that S70 will start. Even though the battery was dead, wouldn't even kick off a charge, I hit it with the jump box booster for about a minute. That gave it a little bit, and the charger charged it up 100%, 100%. So let's see if it'll crank. Somebody was showing this car some love at some point. Got an 8-crate grill, projector headlights. Said 98 NA. Somebody didn't put that clip in right. I think this thing has had an engine or transmission replaced at one time, and not everything was put back right, but I'll see what I could do to straighten all this mess out. Somebody definitely didn't install those struts properly. Let's see what happens. Door check strap is jacked up. We got battery juice for sure. See if we hear the fuel pump. I don't hear a fuel pump. Definitely has low compression. All right, we're gonna have to work on it where it sits. So I'm gonna go put my car back in the driveway and get to work on this thing. But I do need to get the engine prepared to put in here, so I gotta change the oil pan on it, all the timing parts and stuff like that. So let me focus on that first. We're gonna put together this engine stand. It's also a rotisserie, so you can spin the engine around and work on it, change whatever parts you need. Let's get this box open and get this together. I'm ready to replace all the seals in this engine, which is the rear main seal. All that oil down in there is an indication that the rear main was leaking. Cheap cam seal there, probably a cheap one back here, and it looks like there's been oil leaking on the front side as well. So I'm gonna look, see if the crank is leaking too. So replacing these cam seals. Cheap seal on this side too. Even though the seal's tight, they're leaking. So let me grab my tool, grab some Volvo seals and get those installed. The new Volvo seals are installed. This is key. You see that's not in the middle, that slit. It's a little bit to the left. So you want to line this up so that it falls in that key a little bit to the left. People don't do this. Technically their timing is off and they can't get their car to start. I don't have the one for that. I'm gonna take it off the bad engine. Primary purpose of this tool is to hold the seal open so it don't toss that spring going on. Let me go ahead and lock this on here and get the other piece and push that seal in. This tool works better with the M12 flywheel bolts. If you use these 18 hex bolts, you gotta align them like that with the flat part over there so that the rest of the tool can fit over there, or the tool won't fit if the points are out. So it will not work with the points out like that. You have to turn it in so that it is in line with there so this can fit over it. Went to Home Depot to get some bolts for the lower holes. I got 3/8 inch bolts, 5 inches long. I think it said it was a 16 thread count. So let's see if these fit through the hole. Like a perfect fit, and they're grade 8, so they should hold the weight fine. So let's go ahead and bolt this engine to the engine stand. I got the engine on the stand. Instead of 5-inch bolts, it looks like I could have used 4.5, but 5 is good. Put a couple more washers on that, screw those in the engine, screw those through the engine. I'm gonna let this lift down and check the timing belt stuff. I had the engine hoist on a strap and not a load leveler, so I couldn't pitch the engine so that it would sit good at the right angle to mate up with the engine stand. So I jacked up the back side of the engine stand, put it on a couple of, I guess, the 7-inch 4x4s. That put it at an angle where it was easy to bolt that in. Now I snugged them all down. I would say snug. They don't have to be real tight. Once weight is on them, those bolts kind of feel tight themselves. But if you were torquing them, I'd say like 15 foot-pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 8 spots. And I'm ready to lower the engine hoist. Let this thing rest on the engine stand and get to work on it. I'm gonna do the timing and maybe the cam seals on the front, pull the exhaust off, and check a few other things on it before I install it in the car. Kicking off the Tinker Day, I need to get this engine ready to put on, and man, I got a little bit of a mess on my hands. I replaced the rear main seal. That looks wet, but it's not. It's something that's, oh yeah, it's a little wet. I got that done yesterday. I got the 2 rear cam seals replaced. Now I noticed the harness is cut, and the type of knock sensors that are on here, I'm going to have to take this intake manifold off in order to get the other knock sensors on, because the other knock sensors don't have those plugs. So I need to do that. Plus I need to get this dipstick off. I need to replace this oil pan, because the oil pan There's a hole on it right there. Whole bottom of the oil pan is missing. And I need to pull this timing belt cover off to see what those timing parts look like. I'm probably gonna have to replace all those timing parts. And I need to replace this exhaust manifold because it's cut and I don't see no other way to disconnect it because it's welded. And I need to put the one from the other car on here. So let me get cracking, and I might have to heat that up to undo that, or just take that off, use the one on the other car. Let's see how this goes. This is a little bit of rusty situation on here. The other car may not have that. Timing belt first, and then intake manifold, exhaust manifold, oil pan. Let's get cracking. This was an N8 engine, so I had pulled that oil block off plate, but the replacement oil pan will have it. Little bit of cracking on a harmonic balancer may end up replacing that. Let's go ahead and pull this timing belt cover. I see oil there, so these are probably leaking as well. These cam seals. Original water pump. See, it's missing these cogs right here. That's an original idler. This timing belt stuff looks original, and it's a Volvo belt. It creaked when I started moving it. I got the timing marks set. I'm gonna brush those off real quick, and I'm gonna put a cam locking tool on the back because I need to do these cam seals, and it's just easy that way. And since half of that stuff is off anyway, it'll be easy to lock them up back there. I'm gonna go ahead and replace all of this stuff on timing, including the water pump. I got the cam locking tools installed, and I'm gonna replace these cam seals up here. It's easier to do with the cam locking tool installed. Do you see all this moisture up here? I don't know if this is getting sucked down from all the oil on top of the head or what, but now's the best time to do it. Here we are, folks. We got oil along here. Took the cover off. Just 2 bolts makes this easy to clean. I got that cam seal out. Got to get the other one out and start putting this stuff back together. Timing stuff is installed. This belt seems a little tight, but I'm gonna go ahead and release the cam locking tools from the back, roll it around, and make sure all is well. So here I am. The belt was tight going on. I couldn't figure out what was happening. I didn't have enough slack here to even put the belt on. I had to take the cam sprocket loose, but I kind of pushed it on. It was real tight. Pulled the pin on the tensioner didn't extend. So I rolled the engine over, and then lo and behold, the crank moved and the belt didn't, and I assumed the belt wasn't seated in the teeth under the crank, and it jumped a tooth or so, or a half a tooth, and it fell in the grooves. So now the crank is on the mark right down there, and both cams are 1 tooth off. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to move those cams 1 tooth and show you how that's done. A lot of people don't know. So here I am, I'm 1 tooth off, and I got the belt loose. So I want to move this 1 tooth. And what you do is you put a long screwdriver in there like that, and you bump it or turn it until you're on the mark. See how far that jumped over? Way too far. So I want to turn that back until it's on the mark. If you use a longer screwdriver, it works better, but just slide them in there and twist it back or forth till you get them aligned to the marks, and put your belt back on. Okay, all 3 marks is on. That mark is on. That mark is on. And that mark is on. We are good to go. I'm done for the day. I'm tapping out. I got the exhaust off. New manifold gaskets in place. And I'm going to go have supper and call it a night. Driving Pepper got a few dash lights out. Bulb number 2. Bulb number 4. The second bulb in there. I got a bulb out here. Maybe a bulb out here. And the shifter bulb is out, so I'll probably have to do a manual swap to fix that shifter bulb light, but And I got a bulb out up here in this climate control unit. So I got some bulbs to replace up here. Get this thing cracking. I don't know if this air mix has a bulb or not. I don't think so. Here we are, folks, back at John's place. We chased a few wires, or John chased a few wires. Contact. Look at it. Sounding good. Hadn't been driven yet, so it needs to be blown out probably. It has some weak gas in it, stuff like that. But it is running. Kicking off the Tinker Day. Looking for some parts. And this is probably the cleanest junkyard I've seen in years. Years. And the parts I'm looking for apparently has been cleaned up. Gone. So, ain't no parts out here to be had that are just laying around. Most of them have been picked up. So I'm gonna glance on the vehicles around it, make sure they haven't been thrown inside those vehicles, and move on, because I am wasting time. I didn't know this place was cleaned up. It is definitely cleaned up. Looking for the clutch kit from that car, but that apparently got picked up in the cleanup. Yes, sir. Cleaned up, as in gone. I thought I was gonna scoop it up off the ground and move on, but ain't no scooping up around here. They're cleaning this place up. Keeping it safe. Safe and clean. Man, look at there. A Bose stereo system in that car. I checked 6 cars around it. Uh-oh. I might have found it. Wow, that's part of it. Where's the other? The disc. How about that? A little persistence, and I found it. Still has some life on it. It's about half gone. Couple spots is worn a little low, but hey, I think it might be worth it. Another maybe 100,000 miles on it. Whew, that was close. That was close. You gotta use your head. John wants the japanifold off of this, so I'm gonna see if I can grab that and get out of here. Time to get cracking. I'm gonna start off by pulling this intake manifold, servicing the PVC, or getting all that stuff off. Then I'm gonna flip it over and take the oil pan off. Getting ready to take the rest of these wires off, these bolts out of the intake, flip this engine over. I'm also gonna take this oil trap off, see if it's got buildup behind it. Here it is, folks. PCV 80 to 90% plugged. Glad I got a kit for it. Got that scraped out. Got that scraped out. Getting ready to flip it over, and I can't get this one wire off. Ground wire, I need to get that bolt out. It's stripped, and I can't find my 2 special tools to get it out. Had all the bolts out except for one rusty bolt. Can't get it out. So I'm gonna take this bracket off, 6 bolts. I guess it's 6, maybe 5. And then I'm gonna cut that off with my cutting tool. Cut a slit in it pretty easy, but still can't get it out. All the ones up the side are short. These 4 are long. These 3 in between these 2 end ones are medium size. All the ones down that side are short. There it is, $15 bolt. It's okay, I cut a little bit through the oil pan because oil pan's trash anyway. But I'm pretty sure I got through it enough to just pop it off. Do, 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 do. Let me tap it with this hammer. One tap, popped off. Now I'm ready to separate the pan from the block. Got the oil pan off. A little bit of sludge in there. I'm not surprised because of how much was in this PCV box hole right there. I got to make sure I could get something through there. Shine the light through it or whatever. A little bit of stuff on the oil pickup, not much. And I got to get that bolt out there. I don't know if I filmed it, but I tried to film myself taking that screw out with my fingers. Now I got to get a gasket for there, a gasket for there, pull this pickup tube, and I got a gasket in there, then clean the surface off. I took the oil pan into the basement and cleaned it up real good. It had a little bit of metal shavings in it because the car that came off of spun a bearing. So I got all those metal shavings out of there, cleaned the pan up. It had a lot of oil on it. Checked it out, didn't seem to have any damage to it. A little scuff on the bottom of it, but that's kind of common for these oil pans. But let me go ahead and take a lunch break, go pick up the dog, and get back here and take care of this. Someone put this oil pan on this engine it came off of with some regular gasket maker. It's a mess. I had to clean all that off. Raining outside, so we had to close the door, blowing inside. Anyway, I got this block, bottom of it clean and dry, wiped down with acetone. Same thing for the pan, clean, dry, wiped off with acetone. Got all that gasket maker stuff off of it. It's ready for the anaerobic sealant. I gotta find my roller kit to do that. So let me find my roller kit, and then I got the gaskets for the pan. Put that back on and seal this engine up. Found my anaerobic sealant applicator. Man, stuff is always in the last place I look. I checked that box before heading to the store, and there it was. Bam. Let me go ahead and install these seals and get this anaerobic sealant rolled. The pickup tube, it went from that orangish seal to this green seal. Let's go ahead and bolt that down. On the green one, the small one replaced by that, and then the big green one's replaced by that one. These are on the other side. The ones that was on this side, you use the smallest one and the biggest one. One goes there, one goes there. Now I'm ready to put the anaerobic sealant on the bottom of that oil pan and set that oil pan in there. You can replace this thing here as well. So I took this zip tie, ran it in that hole, made sure it was clear for the PCV. You can do the same for this one. And just make sure those holes are clear. Run it in there. Big old hole in the crank. That one's never going to get plugged up, but this one can. This one goes in the oil pan. I have the anaerobic sealant spread around the pan. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this off with acetone one more time and set it on there and bolt it down. I'm torquing these to 144 inch-pounds, which is 12 foot-pounds. These long bolts have thread sealant on them. So make sure you do that. Clean those off and put thread sealer on them. I am done for the night. Got the oil pan installed. I got the bracket back on. And man, I guess that's all I did today for this thing is the oil pan. So I did put an oil filter on it too. And that's going to do it for tonight. We'll try to get this engine swapped out tomorrow. If you made it this far, I trust that you found some information that was either useful or entertaining, so go ahead and hit the like button. And if you would like notification of future videos that I post, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. You can follow me on other social media apps by looking for Robert DIY. Some form of that should bring up the other channels that I have on places like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and so forth. If for some reason you need some more personal help, go to my website at robertdiy.com and use the phone number that I have posted there to send me a text message, or you can email me. If you have questions or comments, please make a comment below. And if you'd like to make some kind of financial contribution to what I got going on here, go to my channel and hit the More link at the end of the introduction statement, and it'll show you different ways that you can support me financially. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day.